There you go. But until then, let's get into the Spook6ular movie segment. Now, I don't know. Is this a horror movie? Maybe. It was in the horror section on Netflix. Piranha 3D. Never heard of it. Apparently this is a remake. Never heard of it. Never heard of the original. Never heard of this before. I was scrolling through the horror section, trying to find something never heard of, and this is what I found. Piranha 3D. I guess it's a monster movie, subgenre of the horror, subgenre of slasher, really. So you got slasher films, right? And then you got monster movies, which are basically kind of like slasher movies, but instead of like a humanoid or a human slasher, it's a monster. And so this was Piranha 3D, 2010. And so, okay, this movie, first of all, I don't even know what to say about this movie, right? Like, the first half of it is like, it's just softcore pornography, right? Like, the first half of it is like, okay, so the main character is a 17-year-old that gets involved with shooting softcore pornography. And then they go on a boat on a lake to film softcore pornography. And there is a lot of softcore pornography in this movie. Now, again, my opinion, as someone who is attracted to the male body, what's with all these fucking movies with having ass and titties all over the place? Right? Now, again, I will say this movie does get credit. There is visible cock. But it's amputated cock that's floating through the lake, and a piranha eats the amputated cock. So, you know, I'm just saying, there needs to be more naked men in the horror genre. That's what I have to say. I just have to say that, you know, again, we get it. You know, men like tits. I understand. You know, they're okay. I'm a tit fan. You know, they're all right. But to me, it's just like, when half the movie is based on titties, you know, come on now. So anyway, the first half of the movie is basically just softcore pornography. That's it. A 17-year-old, it becomes involved with a softcore pornography set. You know, that's weird. Why would they write him to be 17 instead of like 18? I don't know. That's fucking strange. But anyway, okay. So then there's fucking piranhas. Right? And the piranhas are like, they come out of like, there's an earthquake, and they came out of like some subterranean trench or something. So tectonic plates moved and released some ancient ass piranhas. Anyway, so then the piranhas, one of them like kills a bunch of like police guys or whatever. Like 2 of them divers get killed. They bring one of the piranhas back, and then like Doc Brown from Back to the Future has an appearance in this movie, and he's like, oh god, look at the piranha, and that's fucking crazy. Right, that was fun. That's the best part of this movie, was Christopher Lloyd just having like, he had like 2 scenes, I think, actually, and he had like a couple lines of dialogue. That's the best part of the movie, right? Now also, there's another really good part of this movie where there's some bitch who's like, you know, taking her top off on like a hand glider, you know, in like a jet ski hand glider situation, right? She dips into the water, and piranhas like eat her legs, right? And her legs are just like gone. And then she comes out of the water, her tits are still hanging out, and everyone's like, oh, look, titties. And then her like fucking dripping, bloodied, like lower like body is like, and that was a great scene. I love that scene. And so anyway, I love the scene where they're at the beach party and the piranhas are just fucking people up. They killed like there's like one scene in this movie where piranhas killed like fucking 30 guys, 40 guys, like all like fucking spring breakers or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Like piranhas just murdered like fucking 50 motherfuckers. Like, I'm not even joking. That scene was brutal. And then you had like the one guy, the one cop like take off like the fucking engine from a boat and then like try to chop up the piranhas. That was some crazy shit. That was a good scene. Right, but this movie, I mean, it's a monster movie. It's like the acting is like a 1 out of 10. It's really bad, right? Half of it is basically just softcore pornography. Like, I could see someone like actually being able to successfully like climax with masturbation in the first half of this movie. It's just nonstop tits and ass. Now, again, if that's what you're into, all right, that's great. You know, I like tits, I like ass, you know, but to me, I mean, I'm trying to watch a monster movie. I'm trying to see some motherfuckers die, but half the movie is softcore pornography. Now, again, that's not my thing, unless there are some naked men involved. You know, if you made it a little bit more neutral or equality, that's what I'm saying. You know, if we had some of that, maybe I'd be a little bit more in. But either way, and then at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, these are all baby piranhas, and then like a big one jumps out. I guess there's a sequel. I don't know. But anyway, is this a horror movie? I don't know. It was in the horror section. Is it a horror movie? I'm not sure. It's a monster movie, maybe. But there you go. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I don't want to be too critical. I know a lot of people out there, they love ass and titties. I'm aware of that. But to me, I don't mind it. I enjoy it. I'll be honest. But like sometimes, a movie is just a little bit too much. You know what I mean? A little bit too much. And that's my opinion on this one. But I do like the scene where the piranhas bit the porn guy's dick off, and then like they showed like the CGI dick floating through the lake. That was cool. Not because of the dick. I wasn't turned on by it. I just thought it was funny. The other thing about this movie that's really funny is the CG is so terrible. Like the CG is really bad. It's like the so bad it's good territory, where like every time the CG is visible, it just is hilarious. It's fucking hilarious ass shit. I thought the CG in this movie, like the piranhas and the way they move around, is so bad. Holy fuck. But anyway, apparently this movie is 3D. Obviously, I don't have a 3D television or anything, so I didn't watch the 3D component. But there were like a lot of scenes where like the tits were coming into your eyeballs, so I could see why that would be pleasurable for some of the audience. But anyway, there you go. If you like softcore pornography, watch the first half of Piranha 3D. If you don't like softcore pornography, probably avoid the whole movie. Personally, I enjoy softcore pornography once in a while, I don't know why they made a 17-year-old get involved with the porn actors. That was a little weird, I don't know what's going on there. But either way, it's a movie. It's a monster movie. Is it horror? Maybe. It's a monster movie. But really, the most horrifying aspect of this film is just really how much of it is softcore pornography. So, but anyway, there you go. That's Piranha 3D. Needless to say, could have been a little bit better. Sprinkle in a little bit of male strippers. Throw those in there. Maybe bring back the mass death scenes, like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe bring those back a little bit. Cut out some of the ass and titties. Now, again, no criticism. If you love ass, if you love titties, that's great. But sometimes, anyway. But it was really funny. It was a really funny movie. So, very cheesy. So, there you go. Spook6ular movie film review. And there you go. So,